Welcome inside the Sullivan Center here on the campus University of St. Francis. Apologies about the technical difficulties we've been having, but we are about 7.5 minutes into the game. University of St. Francis of Illinois taking on University of St. Francis of Indiana in the first basketball game of the season for the Fighting Saints. Cougars are in their second game of the year. And our score is 17-10 in favor of the Saints. Cougars at the free throw line. And that's Elise Skaggs, the sophomore forward, who makes one of two and cuts in the lead 17-11 our score. So the score graphics you see on your screen, we'll work on it. We'll get them accurate in just a moment. So again, apologies about some of the technical problems, but we're off and running here. St. Francis basketball, they're wearing brown and going from right to left here in the first half. The Cougars are in white and going from left to right. Confusion about whose ball this is right now. The refs will get together to see that it was deflected. Originally, that was the call, that it was deflected out by the Cougars. They claim that it was passed directly out, and that's going to be the call now. No deflection. So it is a turnover by the Saints, and Cougars take over. Three-point shooting has ruled the day so far for the Fighting Saints. Jordan Piles knocked down a few. Josie Graffio hit a three, and Leah Sims got things started with a three-pointer on the first possession of the game. So that's been the catalyst for this offense so far. They lead by 6, 2 minutes to play in the first quarter. Inside, turnaround is an air ball from Cassidy Crawford, and the rebound goes to St. Francis. They've done a great job so far cleaning up the boards on the defensive end, limiting any second chances from the Cougars. Here's Graffio passing off to Leah Sims on the left side. Sims dribbles once, passes into the corner. This is Shadrian McDaniel backing it out. Back up to Leah Sims. 8 on the shot clock, a minute and a half to play in the first quarter. It's Sims crossing over to the right side, down to the corner. Kaylin C.S. Cheney for three. That's off the mark. Graffio fights for the rebound, can't win it. It was 1 against 3, and the one just could not quite win out there. Nice effort from Graffio. Here's Cassidy Crawford passing it across into the front court, and Aubrey Dunnick. Cougars trying to cut into a 6-point deficit late in the first period. We've got a whistle away from the ball, and I think a defensive foul on Shadrian McDaniel. 1:11 on the clock in the first quarter. Whitney Will checks in. Will, a senior from Fort Recovery, Ohio, center for the Cougars. She started, played the majority of the first quarter. And now we got another foul called against St. Francis. I think that, again, is against Shadrian McDaniel. So without a second going off the clock, McDaniel has picked up 2 fouls consecutively. And she may have to check out for a little while now. Justine Charlesworth, who started the game and has gotten a couple of moments of rest, now will cut that rest short as she has to come on for McDaniel. McDaniel frustrated about the calls. 2 straight fouls against her, and that also puts the Cougars in the bonus. So not only is McDaniel on the bench, but Crawford now gets a chance with 2 free throws, and she misses the first. Crawford, 6-foot-tall sophomore, had a nice game in the season opener. Misses both free throws. She had scored 16 points, grabbed 5 rebounds in a 73-53 season opening win. Josie Graffio hands it off to Charlesworth. Charlesworth off to the right side. Graffio, step back 3. A little bit too strong, and Kaylin C.S. Cheney comes away with the rebound. C.S. Cheney, just 5 feet 4 inches tall, but she went in amongst the Cougars forwards and pulled down the board, and now a nice move by Lacey Gardner, but Gardner misses on the turnaround, and the rebound goes to the Cougars. Coming the other way, it's Aubrey Dunnick passing it back to Valiente. Probably the last possession of the quarter for the Cougars here. Crawford dribbles to her left, spins in the lane, throws one up, and gets the roll. Nice move by Cassidy Crawford. 17-13, and now the Saints can hold on for the final shot of the period. Kaylin C.S. Cheney into the front court. She holds about 5 feet beyond the three-point arc, passes off to the right side. Justine Charlesworth on the wing. 7 seconds to play. C.S. Cheney drives the lane, floats one up and in. Beautiful move by Kaylin C.S. Cheney. 2 seconds still to go. Lob down the floor. Crawford will not get it off on time. So the quarter comes to an end with St. Francis on top, 19-13. Great first period of the season for the Fighting Saints offensively. They lead by 6. And we'll take a quick break. I'll be back to recap the first quarter, get you all caught up after some of our technical issues in this first quarter. So we'll have that information for you as we bring you another 10 minutes of basketball before halftime. Saints by 6 at the end of 1. Second quarter about to get started here in Joliet. St. Francis of Illinois leads St. Francis of Indiana 19-13 after 10 minutes. Saints basketball, it's Charlesworth, Graffio, C.S. Cheney, Gardner, and Sims on the floor. C.S. Cheney throws it inside to an open Gardner, but good pressure from behind. Whitney Will, I think, may have gotten a piece of that one. At very least, she bothered Gardner, and Gardner could not finish. 6 points for Jordan Pyle and Josie Graffio. Each of them has hit a pair of three-pointers. They lead the way so far for the Saints. Cougars are led by Whitney Will, who's got 7 points so far in the game. And we've got a foul as Crawford goes to the basket and draws the contact. So Cassidy Crawford is headed to the foul line for a pair of shots. This will already be the 7th and 8th free throws of the game for the Cougars. The Saints have not taken any. But the Cougars have really missed out on their opportunity to keep this game close. They might be +6 in attempts, but they're only +2 in points. They're 2 of 6 at the foul line so far. That includes 0 of 2 from Cassidy Crawford, who makes the first here. Crawford's got 5 points. One more shot coming. And that rims out. So the Cougars are now just 3 of 8 from the foul line so far today. Taylor C.S. Cheney dribbles it inside the three-point arc and hands it off to Leah Sims. Down to the corner, C.S. Cheney, nice fake to the right, dribbles off to the left and passes around the perimeter. Into the corner, Charlesworth for 3, it's no good. Good look, couldn't get it to fall. A minute into the second quarter, 5-point lead for St. Francis. Crawford passes down to Skaggs on the left side, up top Will. Whitney Will dribbles once, bounces inside, Cassidy Crawford kicks it out to Crow, and Sydney Crow hits on the 3. Sydney Crow has her first 3 points of the game. 19-16 our score. They gave her only 2 apparently, missed the referee's call. Apparently her foot was on the line. Nope, they changed it on the scoreboard here, so I think we got it right. It's 19-17. And there's a turnover committed by St. Francis' Pyle. Threw it away, looking in the corner for Charlesworth. It's already the 7th turnover of the game for St. Francis. It's the 3rd time that Jordan Pyle has coughed it up. Pyle is the center in the lineup today for the Fighting Saints, but she'll do a lot of ball handling as she has her first 2 seasons with the Fighting Saints. A little too aggressive at times. She turns it over for the 3rd time. Crow in the corner, hit a 3 on the last possession. This time she passes it off. This is Malia Leatherman. Leatherman up top, dribbles to the left side and hands it off. Crow around a screen. 5 seconds on the shot clock. She's forced outside by Jordan Pyle. Fired across to Leatherman, and there's a shot clock violation. Crow had to find Leatherman in desperation with the clock running down. And I don't think Leatherman ever saw the clock. She was trying to get the ball inside, I believe, for Cassidy Crawford, but it was way too late. The buzzer sounded. Third turnover of the game for St. Francis of Indiana. There's Pyle for the Fighting Saints. Off to the right side, Leah Sims. Sims guarded closely by Crow. Up top, Kaylin C.S. Cheney. C.S. Cheney crossed over to the left side, finds Charlesworth in the corner, and her three-point attempt is blocked. Turned away by Malia Leatherman. Long arms for Leatherman, 6 feet 1 inches tall. And there's a turnover committed by the Cougars. The ball was loose and popped into the hands of Jordan Pyle. Now Leah Sims on the right side. Sims dribbles off to Jordan Pyle. Over to Sims in the corner. Sims tries the three and hits. Little too much space given to Leah Sims that time, and she made Deja Hinton pay for it. 22-17 our score. Cougars with the ball trailing. Down low. It's Crow. Crow stripped and taken away by Kaylin C.S. Cheney. Quick hands from C.S. Cheney that time. Saints trying to move quickly. Charlesworth out to Pyle. Pyle looks to her right, finds Kaylin C.S. Cheney there, and she slows it down. Potential mismatch. C.S. Cheney gives it off to Leah Sims. Misses on the three this time. C.S. Cheney was being guarded by the 6-footer Whitney Will. Rather than trying to take her to the basket, she passed it off. Sims had a good look, couldn't connect, and now Leah Sims nearly takes the ball away. She knocked it out of the hands of Deja Hinton, but out of bounds, so it'll stay with the Cougars going from left to right with 21 on the shot clock. First appearance of Reagan Pate for St. Francis of Indiana as she checks in. Here's Cassidy Crawford. Leatherman off to the right side. This is Pate. Down low, Leatherman, guarded by Charlesworth. Backdoor cut from Dunnick, and Aubrey Dunnick makes the catch and finishes on the layup. Good find. And a strong finish from Aubrey Dunnick, her first 2 points of the game. 22-19, a one-score contest now. Kaylin C.S. Cheney's in the corner. She drives the baseline, floats it up short. She hit a little floater at the end of the first quarter. That time, missed it a good foot short. Down low, Charlesworth looking for the steal on Leatherman, and Leatherman is fouled. It's just the second foul of the quarter on the Fighting Saints. 5:43 to play in the half. So the Cougars will inbound from the baseline. Little discussion amongst the officials. I'm not sure what about, but I think things are settled down. As Cassidy Crawford prepares to inbound. Crawford gets it into Aubrey Dunnick. Dunnick lobs it down low. Back to Cassidy Crawford. Crawford backs in on on Pyle, and a foul is called. Offensive foul on Cassidy Crawford. Nice job by Jordan Pyle taking that contact. Holding her positioning and drawing the offensive call. First foul on Cassidy Crawford. First on the team. Here's Pyle handing it to Leah Sims. No, she faked the handoff. She dribbles inside, forces it up, and she's fouled on the shot, I think, or they're going to give it to her on the floor. I think we're going to see Jordan Pyle get free throws here. Nope. She went to the free throw line. She thought she was getting free throws. But the foul was called on the floor. So Josie Graffio inbounds it to Pyle with the shot clock reset to 20. 3-point lead for the Saints with the ball. It's Jordan Pyle dribbling to the left and throwing it away. Fourth turnover committed by Jordan Pyle today. Here comes Aubrey Dunnick for the Cougars. They could tie it with a three on this possession. Dunnick at the top, guarded by Sims. Pass to the left side. There's that three-point attempt. Comes up short from Pate, but an offensive rebound. Swung back around. Pate thought about trying again. Instead, she fires inside to Leatherman, and Jordan Pyle is there to take it away. Good steal from Jordan Pyle. Cougars were not able to tie it up on that possession, and now the Saints can extend the lead. Josie Graffio over to Leah Sims on the left wing. Sims holds, looks to the corner, finds Jordan Pyle. Pyle wings it over to Graffio. She tries another three, off the mark. Graffio had hit on her first two 3-point attempts. Not this time. So both teams have gone through a scoring drought now. We've seen just 9 total points scored in nearly 6 minutes of this second quarter. Leatherman works her way inside, misses off the backboard. Battle for the rebound. Leatherman pulls it away, but first the whistle blew. It was a held ball, and the possession arrow stays here. So the Cougars will keep it with 11 on the shot clock as that first attempt missed the rim, clunked off the backboard. And a substitute coming on for St. Francis. Anna Switek, sophomore from Mother Macaulay High School, comes in for Leah Sims. First rest of the game for Sims, first appearance of the game for Switek. And we got a 5-second call. Sydney Crow couldn't find anything to do with the ball, looking for Malia Leatherman, and she got it in just a tad late. So a turnover committed by the Cougars. We've seen a lot of turnovers now these last few minutes as both teams struggle on the offensive side. Kaylin C.S. Cheney will try to put an end to those struggles. She holds the ball, bounces off to Pyle at the free throw line. Step back jumper from Jordan Pyle, a little too strong, and the rebound goes to the Cougars. Sydney Crow pulls up at the volleyball line, passes off to the left side. Now lobbed into the free throw line for Cassidy Crawford. She's fouled from behind by Jordan Pyle. Pyle overextends going for the takeaway there, and she commits her second foul. So now both Jordan Pyle and Shadrian McDaniel have 2 fouls for St. Francis. Massive subs for the Cougars. Valiente is back in, along with Alexis Thorban. Whitney Will is in once again as well. Elsie Skaggs, or Elise Skaggs rather. Near steal for St. Francis. The ball loose on the ground, and a foul called on the Fighting Saints. Or was a timeout called? It's a timeout, sorry. So timeout is the call. The Cougars had possession. They were able to get the timeout in with 3 minutes, 38 seconds to play in the first half. It's 22-19. Fighting Saints lead the Cougars, and they were up 19-13 at the end of the first period, but they have gone ice cold from the field after really heating up to start this thing off. They were 7 of 11 from the field in the first quarter, including 5 of 8 from beyond the three-point line, but they have hit just 1 field goal in this second quarter. And it's going to be interesting to see. This is the first game of the year for the Fighting Saints. And for the last 3 years, really, they've had a plan whenever they've been struggling offensively. Just get the ball to Caitlin Alward and see if she can make a play. She graduated first-team All-American last year, and now Fighting Saints are going to need to find another go-to player when times get rough like this, and we'll see how they handle it here in this second period. Still leading by 3, certainly not a time to panic. Backing in is Whitney Will. Will working against Charlesworth, fights it up a little short. The rebound goes to Lacey Gardner. It's Gardner, Graffio, C.S. Cheney, Switek, and Charlesworth on the floor for the Fighting Saints. This is the sophomore Switek passing off to Charlesworth. Charlesworth on the left wing, dribbles towards the top of the key, picked up by Skaggs. Now C.S. Cheney with under 10 on the shot clock. Kaylin C.S. Cheney works her way back, now dribbling into the right. Kicked out to Charlesworth, open look for 3, in and out. Halfway down, did not quite fall for Justine Charlesworth. And the shooting struggles continue for the Fighting Saints. Cougars basketball. This is Skaggs out to Pates. Deep 3-pointer, too strong. And the rebound chased down by Josie Graffio. Both teams ice cold right now. This is Kaylin C.S. Cheney. Over to the right side, Switek. She holds. And now dribbles around a screen from Gardner. Kicked out to Graffio. 3-point attempt is good. Finally, the Saints get off to Schneid. Third 3-pointer of the game for Josie Graffio, who's got 9 points in the first half. And the Fighting Saints lead is 6. Cougars work it around the perimeter for the first 10 seconds of the shot clock. Valiente off to the left side. Pate. Up top to Skaggs. Now just 9 seconds to shoot. Skaggs is in trouble. Trying to get rid of it to Thorban, and it's knocked away. Thorban was the last one to touch it before it went out of bounds. Great defensive possession by the Fighting Saints. It's a turnover committed by the Lady Cougars. Down to the final 2 minutes of the first half. 6-point lead for the Saints. Their largest of the game so far is 7. Here's Graffio, leading scorer so far for either side. Kaylin C.S. Cheney jump stop in the lane, misses off the back iron. Rebound goes to the Cougars. Pate on the left side, guarded by Graffio. Lobbed down low. This is Elise Skaggs. Skaggs works it up and in. Nice move by the sophomore Elise Skaggs. Those were her first 2 points of the game. 25-21. The Cougars are keeping it close. Here's Graffio. Drives into the corner. Leaner from the baseline. Air ball. Rebounded by Fatima Valiente. There's Pate. Thought about the three. Good defense by Graffio. Prevented it. Under a minute to play in the half as the Cougars back it out. Here's Skaggs. Off to the right side. 3-point attempt from Valiente. Misses. The rebound goes to Switek. Aside from a couple of seconds in the first quarter, the Saints have had the lead the entire way. Their biggest deficit was only 1. Now they're trying to carry that lead into halftime. They're up by 4 with 33 seconds to go. Kaylin C.S. Cheney bounces it into Lacey Gardner. Lost the handle for a moment. Got it right back. C.S. Cheney on the outside. Spins in the lane. Pushes it up and draws the foul. Kaylin C.S. Cheney tried to make something happen there with the shot clock running down, and she did. Getting herself to the foul stripe. Cougars bring most of the starters back on the floor. Aubrey Dunnick is the only bench player who remains in. Check that Reagan Pate is still in as well. Along with Crawford, Crow, and Leatherman as C.S. Cheney knocks down the first free throw. 5-point lead for the Fighting Saints. 1 out of 2 for C.S. Cheney. The rebound goes to the Cougars. And they look like they're going to hold for the final shot here. 26-21, St. Francis of Illinois on top. The Indiana team has the ball out by the half-court stripe. Dribbling to the right. Crawford fires it inside for Leatherman, who banks it in with 5 seconds to go. Here comes Justine Charlesworth with 1 on the clock. Charlesworth from half court. Just missed it. On line, a little bit too hard, and it's halftime. St. Francis of Illinois led pretty much the whole first half, and they do have that lead at halftime. It's a narrow one, though. Nice work by the Cougars to really ramp up the defensive pressure and keep it tight. 26-23 at the half. The home team is on top. We got 15 minutes on the clock for halftime, and we'll be back after that period of time as the Fighting Saints try to open up their season with a victory. 26-23, Fighting Saints lead here at St. Francis. We're just moments away from the start of the second half here in Joliet. Terry Bonadonna back with you on the call for today's St. Francis versus St. Francis matchup. The Illinois version is leading at the half. 26-23 is our score, and chalk this up to the unfairness of life, I guess. The first 7 minutes of this game, we were having some technical problems. We weren't able to get the broadcast rolling to start, and in those 7 minutes, there were a total of 28 points scored. Finally got things rolling. We got it for the end of the first quarter, the broadcast working all right, and then the entire second quarter as well. And during those 13 minutes, after 28 points were scored during the first 7 minutes, we only saw 22 points scored from that point on, or 21 points scored from that point on. So things have slowed down considerably. St. Francis in particular shot the ball really well in the first quarter, 7 of 11, and then just went 2 of 12 in the second quarter. But the thing that's given them the lead and kept it for so long, they're 7 of 15 from beyond the arc today, including 3 of 5 for Josie Graffio. She leads all scorers with 9 points. She's also got 3 rebounds, which is a team high. Whitney Will has 7 points to lead the Cougars of St. Francis, and Elise Skaggs is their leader with 4 rebounds. They went just 2 of 6 from beyond the arc, shot 43% total in the first half, and we're back underway. St. Francis of Illinois has the ball first, going from left to right and facing a trapping defense from the Cougars. They've ramped up the pressure here. Shadrian McDaniel at the top of the key, kicks it out to Leah Sims. Sims for 3, it's good. Third three-pointer made today for Leah Sims, 8th of the game for the Fighting Saints. Sims has now got 9 points. In fact, she hit the first 3 points of the first half, and now she's got the first 3 points of the second as well. Malia Leatherman scores over Josie Graffio, and she's fouled. So we got a chance at a 3-point play. Good pass and a good strong finish by Malia Leatherman following a strong cut. 29-25 our score, and Cougars have a chance to cut into it a little bit. Leatherman went 2 of 4 on free throws in the team's first game of the year. 1 of 2 today, and she makes this one. So that pushes her season percentage above 50. 29-26, it's a one-score game once again. Justine Charlesworth off to Leah Sims on the right side. Up top, Jordan Pyle. Pyle eschews the screen, goes to the left instead. Fade away off the glass is good. Nice drive by Jordan Pyle. She's got 8 points. Pyle is the top returning scorer for St. Francis. Inside to Leatherman, nearly lost it, got it back and threw it away. Intercepted by Shadrian McDaniel, who's immediately fouled by Whitney Will. The officials' whistles have been hard to hear today, at least for me. I don't think anybody noticed it on that last possession when Leatherman got fouled. Seems like everything else is easier to hear with no fans allowed in the arena. You could hear the coaches yelling from the bench very clearly in some cases. For whatever reason, the whistles are not standing out. Leah Sims over to Justine Charlesworth. I wonder if it's an acoustics issue. I don't know, I'm not an auditory expert. Charlesworth up top, Shadrian McDaniel over to Leah Sims with 8 on the shot clock. Sims dribbles to her right, pulls up, passes. Pyle, nice fake. Now a drive down the baseline. Open layup is good. 4 straight points for Jordan Pyle. And she's now got 10 for the game. How about this? St. Francis in the first half hit only 2 two-point shots. Pyle's got 2 in a row, but quickly answered on the other end by Sydney Crow, who lays it in and makes it a 5-point game, 33-28, and a timeout is called. 8:09 to play, third quarter. Fighting Saints lead the Cougars by 5 points. They've led for all but a couple of seconds in this game. St. Francis Cougars took a 1-point lead at one point midway through the first quarter, and that was it. Fighting Saints shot the ball really well in the first quarter. They didn't shoot so well in the second, but they held on to the ball a lot better. After 6 turnovers in the first 10 minutes, they committed just 2 in the second period, and they have not yet turned the ball over here in the second half. So they've turned things around nicely in terms of ball control. Starters are on the floor for the Fighting Saints. Here's Leah Sims. Walking across the timeline off to the right side, Justine Charlesworth. Up top, Jordan Pyle. Pyle off to the left side, Sims for three. She's got it. Another three-pointer for Leah Sims. That's her fourth of the game, so she's into double figures, joining Jordan Pyle. Josie Graffio's got 9 for the Fighting Saints. Here's a drive from Crawford. Crawford dishes it off last second. Will blocked from behind by Pyle. Will right back up with it. No. And a rebound by Justine Charlesworth. Great defensive possession for the Fighting Saints. Sims off to Pyle, left side. Jordan Pyle drives the baseline. She's fouled. And I heard that whistle, but I did get confirmation. My question, they're using hand whistles, which makes sense now that I think about it. The referees are all wearing masks. No wonder it's hard to hear the whistles. Sometimes there's an obvious answer that you just don't notice. Or at least I don't notice it. Thanks to Dave Lucchetta for filling me in. Saints inbounded. It's Sims up top over to Josie Graffio on the left side. McDaniel back out to Sims. Leah Sims crosses over to the right, picks up her dribble, gives it up to Graffio. Three-pointer, a little bit short, doesn't get the bounce. Rebounded by Cassidy Crawford. Crawford, the sophomore from Tipton, Indiana, tosses it off right side. Long jumper misses from Reagan Pate, and a foul is called on the rebound. That one goes against the Lady Cougars. Eight-point lead for the Fighting Saints. They were up by 3 at halftime. They've extended it after 3+ minutes in the third quarter. Pyle from the top of the key misses on the three. And the rebound goes to the Cougars. Here comes Sydney Crow. Bounced inside the three-point line. Leatherman, nice find, and Crawford finishes on the layup. 2 more for Cassidy Crawford, who now has 7 points in the game. 36-30 is our score. McDaniel on the right. Lobs it up top to Justine Charlesworth. Down to the right side, Graffio fires inside McDaniel. McDaniel fakes to her right, spins to the left, and can't get the roll. Nice move, just couldn't quite get the finish. Cougars can cut it to a 1-score game here, more than 4 minutes into the third quarter. Sims pokes the ball away from Crow, right out of bounds. It'll stay with the Cougars, 17 on the shot clock. Dunnick inbounds it to Sydney Crow. At the top of the key, this is Malia Leatherman. Leatherman backs down on Leah Sims and throws it away. Turnover committed by the Cougars. It's their 11th turnover of the game. Here comes Pyle on the drive. Last second dish off to Josie Graffio, and a good finish for Graffio. Great teamwork there between Pyle and Graffio to get the 2. An 8-point lead once again for St. Francis, matching their largest of the game. A whistle away from the ball, and we've got an offensive foul against the Cougars. I think Malia Leatherman jostling with Josie Graffio was called for that one. Third foul called against the Cougars this half. They only committed 3 fouls the entire first half. We're not even 5 minutes into the third quarter here. Shadrian McDaniel getting the screen, crossing back over to the right side, now along the baseline. McDaniel reverse, no good, came up short on it. The rebound goes to the Cougars. McDaniel tries to take it away, and she does. Falling out of bounds. Was she pushed? I don't know if she was pushed, but maybe Crow touched the ball as it went out of bounds. They're changing the call. It is Cougars' ball, and that's really the only way you could do it. I think McDaniel clearly had it in her hands as she fell out of bounds. Either she was pushed or it was out on her. And it was out on her, so it's Cougars' ball. Here's Pate. Swung around to the left side. A drive from Dunnick, and she's bumped by Leah Sims. Sims commits her first, make that her second foul of the game. 4:52 to play, third quarter. 8-point lead. Fighting Saints trying to improve to 1-0 on the season. Actually trying to win their 6th consecutive game overall after they ended last season on a winning streak, which is an extreme rarity. Lacey Gardner checks in for Josie Graffio. Almost nobody ends the season on a 5-game winning streak in normal years. This obviously was not a normal year. Cougars look to inbound. They get it to Aubrey Dunnick, double team. She splits the 2 defenders and scores. Beautifully done by Aubrey Dunnick right there, getting around Leah Sims and Shadrian McDaniel. Sims walks it to the right side for the Saints. Down low to Lacey Gardner. Back out to Sims. Sims bounces low to Gardner. Double team. Gardner steps out. 12 to shoot. Here's Shadrian McDaniel dribbling to the left, and she is bumped. A foul called on the floor. Usually everybody loses to end the season. Just getting back to my previous point. Either you lose in your conference tournament or you lose in the national tournament. So among really strong teams, the only one that ever ends the season with a win is the national champion. Everybody else finishes with a loss. Lobbed in for Gardner. Gardner's blocked from behind, but a foul called on Aubrey Dunnick. That'll send Lacey Gardner to the free throw line for 2 shots. So the only other way, aside from winning a national championship, to end the season on a winning streak is to not qualify for your conference tournament. Then you could end the season on a win, but typically you wouldn't finish with a long winning streak, because if you had a long winning streak, you probably would have qualified for your conference tournament. So to start the season with an active 5-game winning streak is extraordinarily rare. St. Francis of Illinois won their first round NAIA tournament game last year as Gardner makes the first free throw. And they were scheduled to play in the round of 16 on Friday, March 13th, but that, of course, was canceled as the second shot is good from Gardner. Actually, St. Francis of Indiana never even got to play their first round game. They were also in the NAIA tournament last year. They were scheduled to play their first round game on the Thursday, the 12th. And, of course, everything halted before it got to that point. Only one day of action was played in last year's tournament as the three-pointer is good from Alexis Thorbon. 40-35, Saints lead the Cougars. The Indiana school doing a good job holding it tight. They've been down by 8 by a number of times, but Saints have never stretched their lead into double figures. And they won't stretch their lead at all on this possession as Leah Sims misses on the 3. The rebound battle ends up as a held ball, but the possession arrow faces the Cougars. Kaylin C.S. Cheney is in for Justine Charlesworth. Deja Hinton back on the floor for St. Francis, Indiana. Here's Valiente passing off to Thorbon. Skaggs fires down low to the cutting Will, and it's out of bounds. Last touched by the Saints. Jordan Pyle thought that Whitney Will got that one last. The official disagreed. 19 on the shot clock. Inbounds pass stolen away by Leah Sims. Sims saw that one coming the whole way. Here's Pyle on the drive. Down low to Gardner. Back out to Sims. Sims works her way to the right wing. Turnaround up top to McDaniel. 13 to shoot. McDaniel to Pyle on the left wing. Jordan Pyle drives. Throws it off the glass and misses. Rebounded by Deja Hinton. Hinton wants to run, going the other way. 1 against 2. Hinton forces the pressure anyway and scores. Coast to coast there for Deja Hinton, and now it's thrown away by Pyle looking for Leah Sims. Valiente gets the steal. She gives it up to Hinton, and this time the Cougars will slow it down and reset. Down by just 3 points now. 2:42 on the clock in the third quarter. The ball is loose. C.S. Cheney dives on it. She and Hinton get locked up, and that's a held ball. We're going the other way with it. Nice defense by the Fighting Saints. Kaylin C.S. Cheney forces the tie-up and the turnover. Fighting Saints basketball. And a timeout called by the Fighting Saints. It's a full timeout. 2:39 to play, third quarter. St. Francis of Illinois leads St. Francis of Indiana 40-37. And the Fighting Saints have held a lead just about the entire way here, but Cougars have kept it close. A couple of top 15 teams from a year ago battling for the second consecutive season. Last year, St. Francis of Illinois came away with a 12-point win against St. Francis of Indiana. Both of these teams lost their star player from a year ago. Each team had an All-American last season who graduated. St. Francis finished last year, St. Francis of Illinois that is, finished last year ranked number 8. The Indiana version was number 11 in the final poll, and again, they did not get to play their tournament game. It was one of the first games, in fact, that was canceled when the world kind of stopped in mid-March. So weird ending the last season. The world was a weird place back then. Some would argue it still is, but we go forward anyway, and this will be almost certainly the entire season. No fans, as we see today. Nobody who's not working the game or playing in it is allowed in the arena, and you can see the benches are spread out as well, and that figures to remain the case all the way through the end of this year. But as far as schedules are concerned, it's pretty much a full schedule for all teams involved, and it helps when you have a giant conference like the CCAC. You really don't have to go outside of the local area in order to get a full schedule. As the Fighting Saints inbound it, get us going again out of the timeout. It was a fresh shot clock. Jordan Pyle off to the corner for Shadrian McDaniel. McDaniel gets it in and now passes out to Pyle off her shin and out of bounds. Miscommunication there by McDaniel and Pyle. And another St. Francis Fighting Saints turnover. Cougars look to tie it with a 3 on this possession. It's Whitney Will. 7 early points. She hasn't scored in a while, though. Elise Skaggs fires it off to the left side. Thorbon gives it up to Hinton. Deja Hinton drives and kicks. Valiente step back 3 for the tie, way off. Rebound knocked out of bounds by the Saints. Steve Brooks doesn't like the call. 4th-year head coach of the Fighting Saints, but what he really doesn't like is his senior center, Lacey Gardner, not grabbing that rebound. Went after it a little bit passively. Forced her to knock the ball out of bounds. Skaggs fouls Gardner, and it's a turnover. So Gardner makes up for her previous mistake by drawing the charge there. The Fighting Saints get it back, under 2 minutes to play in the third. This is Kaylin C.S. Cheney at the top of the key. Passing off to Jordan Pyle on the left side. Now McDaniel up to Leah Sims. Squirts through her fingers. She keeps it in the front court, though. Sims now drives down low. Kicks it to the corner for McDaniel. Shadrian McDaniel along the baseline. Spins, misses. Rebound knocked around, and a foul called on McDaniel as that board was secured by Elise Skaggs. McDaniel looks like got her in the face with an errant elbow as she was battling for the rebound as well. Fighting Saints have gone cold once again. They had some dry spells in the first half, and now we're seeing it again after a hot start in the second half. It's been a while since we've seen them put any points on the board. 40-37 is the score with 1:38 to play before our quarter change. Cougars have gone cold as well, so they haven't been able to make up much ground during this dry spell for the Fighting Saints. Elise Skaggs gives it up to Deja Hinton. Hinton drives right side along the baseline, throws it back out. Thorbon. 12 seconds to shoot for Elise Skaggs, who throws it towards the baseline. It's picked up by Valiente. Now to Thorbon again. Thorbon fights up a tough 2. No good. Rebound Whitney Will, who loses it out of bounds, and she was the last one to touch it. With the shot clock running low, Will was in a bit of a panic, and she lost the ball out of bounds. Saints possession. Josie Graffio comes back in for the Fighting Saints for Lacey Gardner. Kaylin C.S. Cheney dribbles it across the timeline. Over the right side, Josie Graffio. Graffio kicks it out to Shadrian McDaniel. Swung around, left wing, Jordan Pyle. Under a minute to play in the third. Graffio spins into the lane, now kicks it to the corner. Good ball movement by the Fighting Saints here. McDaniel across court to Graffio, 9 seconds to shoot. Kalen C.S. Cheney up top, crosses over, gets inside, kicks to the corner. Pyle, open three, got it. Gorgeous possession right there by the Fighting Saints as every player touched the ball, and they freed up Jordan Pyle for an open three-pointer in the corner. We've got a whistle and a foul called on St. Francis of Illinois on this end. 6-point lead for the Fighting Saints, 31.8 on the clock, and free throws coming up for the Cougars. Aubrey Dunnick is up the line for two. So far this season, Dunnick is 5 of 6 from the line. Make it 6 of 7. 857 free throw percentage. And now it's an 875 percentage as she makes her second. 43-39. Shot clock is off for the Fighting Saints. Jordan Pyle drives, sends it to the corner. Three-point attempt from Graffio is an air ball. And on the rebound, we've got a tie-up. Staying here. Saints operated very quickly. Took the first shot they could get their hands on before. We'll see if they operate a little bit differently this time around. They had an opportunity if they wanted to hold on for the final shot before, and it looks like this time they'll try to take that opportunity. Kalen C.S. Cheney with 5 on the clock. Out to Pyle, three-pointer. No good. Rebound to the Cougars. Three-quarter court shot comes up well wide from Cassidy Crawford, and the third quarter comes to a close. Saints expand on their lead by 1 point in the third quarter. Both teams went cold the second half of that third, but as we sit with 10 minutes to play, Saints lead 43-39. Stick with us. We've got the fourth quarter coming up here on the USF Sports Network. Start of the fourth, 43-39. Saints lead the Cougars. Cougars basketball. So we start the final 10 minutes. Sydney Crow fires a three and misses. Offensive rebound, Cassidy Crawford. Nice work by Crawford fighting for that rebound. Crawford kicks it out to Crow. It's deflected by C.S. Cheney. Ball loose, knocked out by Crow. Saints ball, good defensive possession. 3 scorers are in double figures for the Fighting Saints after 3 quarters. Jordan Pyle's got 13 points, Leah Sims 12, Josie Graffio 11. Rest of the team combined has just 7. Leading scorer for Indiana right now is Crawford and Will, who each have 7 points. There's Crawford with a block of Josie Graffio, who went up for the layup. And now Leah Sims battles for the steal, and she comes up with it. A held ball called. Possession arrow faces the Fighting Saints. 36 seconds into the fourth quarter. A lot of action already. An offensive rebound, a turnover. Held ball. Haven't seen any points yet, but they're to come. It'll happen. Shadrian McDaniel is the inbounder here. Inbounds to Jordan Pyle. Sims gives it right back to Pyle, who drives, pulls up, nice fake. She was fouled, I think, on the floor. Before the shot, Jordan Pyle was fouled, so the Saints will inbound it. Another foul call. And again, it's on the Cougars. This one on Malia Leatherman. Previous call went on Aubrey Dunnick. That's Leatherman's second. McDaniel quickly double teamed. Passed out for Graffio and taken away by Pate. Another tie up. This time it's going the other way. Still a 4-point lead for the Fighting Saints. A lot of action, but no scoring yet in the fourth quarter. Here comes Cassidy Crawford. Crawford all the way down to the baseline. Kicks it out, deflected by C.S. Cheney, but it finds Sydney Crow anyway. And we've got a foul away from the ball. The call is going to go on Shadreen McDaniel. It'll be her third. It's the first foul, though, that she has picked up since the first quarter. She was in foul trouble early and has been able to play the whole second half so far without any incident. That's her third foul. And it gets Justine Charlesworth off the bench. Charlesworth checks in for McDaniel. And I take back what I just said. That's actually McDaniel's fourth foul. So that is a big one. She did pick up one in the third quarter as well. So big fourth foul on McDaniel. She'll be on the bench for a little while. Cassidy Crawford backs in on Pyle, misses the turnaround, gets her own rebound, misses her second effort, and this time Kaylin C.S. Cheney pulls down the rebound. C.S. Cheney moving quickly the other way, takes it all the way in herself. She hits the ground as she's blocked, I believe, by Leatherman. No go for St. Francis on that possession. No, St. Francis of Indiana has it. It's Dunnick dribbling once and passing off to Leatherman. Leatherman on the right wing. Up top to Cassidy Crawford, and she dribbles deep before giving it back up with 11 on the shot clock. Sydney Crow up to Dunnick. Dunnick dribbles to the right side, guarded by Graffio. Forces it up off the backboard, no good. Taps her own rebound out, and Reagan Pate keeps it alive for the Cougars. A double dribble is called. 8:08 to play in the fourth quarter. Both teams struggling to hold on to the ball right now. Cougars are doing a good job on the offensive rebounds, but they haven't allowed their second and third chances to pay off. We've not yet seen a point in this fourth quarter. Kaylin C.S. Cheney right side. Out to Justine Charlesworth. Deep three, wide open, missed it. Rebound to the Cougars. This is Cassidy Crawford on the right. Crawford bounces it to Reagan Pate. Nearly got away from her. In fact, it did get away from her, but it didn't get away from the team. Sydney Crow tracks it down in the corner. Under 10 to shoot for Sydney Crow. Trying to dribble around Kaylin C.S. Cheney, and a tie-up is called as C.S. Cheney reached her hands in and forced a turnover. Possession arrow faces the Saints, and so it is another takeaway for the Fighting Saints and another empty possession. Still haven't seen any points scored in a while. Going on 3 minutes now without either team having scored. Kaylin C.S. Cheney at the top, and an illegal screen is called against St. Francis. Obviously, every call of this game has been against St. Francis, but goes against Jordan Pyle specifically. Every call the rest of the game will be against St. Francis as well. It's a guarantee. These two teams, 5-5 against each other all time. This is the first time that the Indiana St. Francis has journeyed here in 13 years. Down low, Dunnick does not get the roll. Rebound, Jordan Pyle, under 7 minutes to play. Still a 4-point lead for the Saints. Leah Sims walks it to the top of the key. Sims drives to the left side, now picks up her dribble. In some trouble, finds Kaylin C.S. Cheney outside. C.S. Cheney from the foul line, misses too strong on the jumper. We're going the other way with it. Crow in the half-court circle. Hands it off to Crawford, and she backs up to the circle. Crawford to the right side off the screen, lays it up, and in. Rolled around the rim, a full 2 rotations before finally falling. And this is as close as the Cougars have been in a long time. A 2-point game, 43-41. Looked like C.S. Cheney was going to call a timeout there. She does not. Saints will run their offense. Charlesworth up to the left wing. Passes around to the right side. Leah Sims up top Charlesworth. Only 8 seconds to shoot for Kaylin C.S. Cheney. She'll take that shot from the corner and miss the 3. Rebound to Crawford. Cougars can tie or take the lead here. Crawford slows it down. Sydney Crow back to Cassidy Crawford. Crawford walks it back almost all the way to half court. Just about half the shot clock is gone as Crawford starts to make her move to the right side. Good defense by Pyle, who strips it. Crawford on the floor trying to secure it. Graffio falls on top of it, and we've got a held ball. Quick hands by Jordan Pyle forced the near turnover. It stays with the Cougars, but with just 8 seconds on the shot clock, they'll inbound it from the baseline. Deja Hinton is back in, as is Whitney Will and Elise Skaggs. Alexis Thorban out there as well. Crow inbounds it to Whitney Will. Missed on the short-range jumper. Battle for the rebound. It's still loose on the floor, and we've got another tie-up. I've seen more held balls in this game than I've seen in any game in a long time. I don't know when. But this time, the possession arrow faces the Fighting Saints, so they do come up with a defensive stop. They lead by 2. Haven't scored in over 5 minutes, though. Here's C.S. Cheney. Off to Leah Sims. Sims drives the lane, kicks it out to Graffio. Graffio out to Jordan Pyle. Pyle throws it away. She was looking for Charlesworth. Charlesworth was cutting the baseline. Pyle wanted her in the corner. It's been almost 6 minutes now since St. Francis's last points. The Saints, that is. Cougars scored about a minute and a half ago. Now they can tie or take the lead. It's their second chance to tie or take a lead. Thorban hands it off to Hinton. Deja Hinton down the lane, up and misses. Off the glass, looked good on the release. Didn't roll it through though. And the Fighting Saints still have the 2-point lead. They have not led at any point by more than 8, but they've never trailed by more than 1. And now they haven't scored in 6.5 minutes. But they remain on top. Sims for 3. No good. Rebounded by the Cougars. Fighting Saints are ice cold, but their defense has been up to the task. It's Deja Hinton. Up top. Thrown down low from Thorban to Skaggs. Whitney Will scores underneath to tie it up. 43-all with under 4 minutes to play. Cougars have tied it for the first time this half. Can the Saints recapture the lead? Josie Graffio up top, off to C.S. Cheney. Now to Charlesworth. On the right side, it's Jordan Pyle. 18 seconds gone from the shot clock. Josie Graffio around the screen. Back to Pyle. 5 to shoot. Pyle steps in, fights it up and misses. Cougars can take their first lead since the first quarter right here. Thorban over to Hinton. Deja Hinton back to Thorban. At the free throw line, this is Skaggs. Skaggs backs in on Charlesworth and scores. It's their first lead since the first quarter. 45-43, Cougars lead. And the Saints haven't scored in 8 minutes. Graffio up top, bounce to Pyle on the right wing. Down to the corner, it's Charlesworth. 8 seconds to shoot, Pyle. Across court, Graffio. Graffio fires the 3 and hits. Saints reclaim the lead, 46-45. It's their first point in over 8 minutes. And boy, did it come at a big time. Those 3 for Josie Graffio give her 14 for the game. That's a game high. And St. Francis is back in front. They have led for all but less than a minute of the game. It has been a defensive struggle really since the first quarter. St. Francis of Illinois led 19-13 at the end of the first quarter. Really great offensive start for the Saints, but they have slogged ever since. They came out of the gate strong in the second half as well, knocked down a few three-pointers. They've been very reliant on three-pointers in this game, and not hugely surprising. It's probably going to be a perimeter team throughout the year. Last year, the offense went through Caitlin Aylward, who led the team in scoring by a significant margin. It was her third straight year leading the team in scoring. Left as one of the all-time leading scorers in program history. And she was the only significant piece to depart after last year. The only starter who left the team. But it's a big one. They just don't have that inside presence right now. They've still got some size, but Jordan Pyle, their center, at 5'11", primarily an inside player. Lacey Gardner is probably the only one who's a real threat inside, and Gardner has played limited minutes. Adriana Acosta is another inside player, more of a defensive force than an offensive force. She's not playing today. Here's Crawford off to Crow. 1 point game here as the Cougars try to recapture the lead. It's thrown away, intercepted by Leah Sims. Sims has had a very good defensive game. That was her second steal. Graffio over to Pyle, left side. Shadrian McDaniel drives. McDaniel misses on the runner, an air ball. And as we approach the 2-minute mark, the lead for the Fighting Saints remains 1 point. Crow passes to Crawford, looking back for Crow, didn't have her. Instead, it's Thorban up top. Half the shot clock gone. At the free throw line, this is Crawford. Her pass is deflected by Pyle and picked off by Sims. Third steal of the game for Leah Sims. Although that one was precipitated by the deflected pass from Jordan Pyle. Saints will look to extend their lead here. Graffio over to McDaniel on the right wing. McDaniel takes her time. Here's Leah Sims to Pyle. Now Kaylin C.S. Cheney. Under 10 to shoot. C.S. Cheney finds Pyle. Jordan Pyle steps into a three and misses it badly. Rebounded by Thorban. Neither team able to get their offense rolling in this fourth quarter. Still a 1 point game. Down low, it's a bucket for Malia Leatherman. And the Cougars are back on top. 47-46 with just about a minute left. Cougars have outscored the Saints 8-3 in the fourth. Jordan Pyle on the drive, draws the contact. She can't finish on the shot, but the foul will put her on the line and give her 2 free throws. One would tie if she makes them both. Saints will have the lead. First free throw attempts of the game and consequently of the season for Jordan Pyle, and she does tie it up by making the first. 47 all. 56.9 seconds are showing on the clock right now. And the Saints have the lead. 48-47. Pyle makes them both. And if St. Francis can get just one more stop here, Cougars will almost be in position where they have to foul to stay alive. Big defensive possession for the Fighting Saints. Big offensive possession for the Cougars as Thorban tries to put them ahead and misses on the three-pointer. Rebound is chased down by Leah Sims, and a timeout is called by the Fighting Saints from the sideline. 39.2 on the clock. 48-47, Fighting Saints lead, and they'll have the ball with 28 on the shot clock when they come out of this timeout. Because Thorban ended up getting that three-pointer off pretty quickly, Cougars are definitely not yet at a point where they have to foul, and especially considering the way that they've played defense in the second half of this game, and in particular in the fourth quarter of this game, they don't want to foul. They've not given up too many offensive rebounds, So if the Cougars can get a stop here, they figure to be getting the ball back with a fair amount of time to score and get the win. For as well as the Cougars have played defensively, they have not forced a whole lot of turnovers. Fighting Saints have done a nice job since the end of the first quarter, at least, of holding on to the basketball. They committed 6 turnovers in the first quarter. They've had just 6 total since then. No pressure from the Cougars as the Saints get it in. Sims over to Graffio. Didn't look like she was ready for the pass, but she recovered. Here's Kaylin C.S. C.S. Cheney at the top of the key. Hands it off to Graffio, and a timeout is called. 14 seconds on the shot clock now, 26 to play in the game. 30-second timeout called by the Fighting Saints. So Steve Brooks apparently didn't like where that possession was going. Decided to talk it over again. And they'll start from scratch here. This time they'll inbound it from across the half-court line. Fighting Saints lead by 1, 48-47. Game 1 of a doubleheader here at the Sullivan Center today. It'll be Marion of Indiana coming up next against Cardinal Stritch. Both teams will be in action tomorrow as well as they flip opponents. St. Francis of Illinois takes on Marion tomorrow. And St. Francis of Indiana will see Cardinal Stritch in the afternoon. It's the first game of a 2-day event, and the Fighting Saints are trying to hold off the Cougars to pick up the Game 1 win. Kaylin C.S. Cheney at the top of the key. 9 seconds to shoot. C.S. Cheney, dribble drive, pulls up, kicks it out. Charlesworth for 3. Off the mark. Rebound McDaniel didn't get the rim. 3-pointer for Sims. In and out. And it's rebounded by the Cougars. Timeout called by the Cougars with 9 seconds on the clock. There was some confusion on the clock just a moment ago. The initial 3-pointer from Charlesworth missed. I didn't think it got the rim. The scorer's table reset the shot clock, indicating that it did hit the rim. If that's true that it did hit the rim and the shot clock was correctly reset, the Saints didn't have to take another shot. And I'm sure if that's the case, Steve Brooks would much rather have seen Leah Sims dribble out, eat up a few more seconds, and then take the foul. But because I think Sims believed what I believe, that the ball did not hit the rim, she ended up firing a quick shot. She missed it, and that gave the Cougars the ball back with 9 seconds to play in the fourth quarter. Overtime is still on the table, but it's not very likely. With just 9 seconds to go, we're not going to get a chance for more than one opportunity, I would think. The Cougars will try to get a shot off and pick up the victory. And if they end up scoring quickly, Saints would get a chance to answer, but in all likelihood, the game will be decided on this end of the floor right now. If the Saints can come up with a stop, they'll be 1-0. If not, they'll drop their first game of the season and see the Cougars improve to 2-0 to start their season. It's Hinton, Pate, Thorbon, and Crawford on the floor, with Crow inbounding the basketball here for the Cougars. Same 5 on the floor for the Saints as it comes into Crawford. Crawford, 6 seconds. Starts to dribble on Pyle, and Pyle picks up the foul. Saints had 1 to give. In fact, they had 2 to give. So now 5.1 on the clock. See if they elect to foul again here. And now it's just 5 seconds to play. It almost certainly will end right here, but not before they talk things over. Timeout called by the Cougars. It's a 1-point game, so any shot will do it for the Cougars. They will win on a make and lose if they can't, almost certainly. They might look to get a really quick shot off out of the inbounds play and leave open the opportunity for an offensive rebound. They've got 15 offensive rebounds in the game today, so that's certainly in play and something I would imagine Jason Ridge is talking over on the bench right now. It's certainly something that Steve Brooks is talking over. Obviously, you want to contest any shot right out of the gate, but after that, you got to box out, make sure that they don't get another opportunity. First priority for Steve Brooks' squad is try to prevent them from inbounding the ball. St. Francis has led this game. Well, let me rephrase that. St. Francis of Illinois has led this game. Of the 49 minutes or 39 minutes rather, and 55 seconds we've seen, they've led it for about 39 minutes and 10 seconds or so. Only very briefly have the Cougars been up on 2 occasions, once in the first quarter, once in the fourth. Here we go, 5 seconds to go. Cougars get it in. This time Crawford inbounds to Whitney Will. Will passes back to Crawford. At the buzzer, her shot is short, and the Saints come away with the win. A hard-fought victory. Not pretty, but they're able to come away with a victory, and despite connecting on just 1 field goal in the entire fourth quarter, the Fighting Saints prevail 48-47 over the Cougars. And a defensive battle goes the way of the host school. Again, wasn't always pretty. Most important thing as the season begins is getting that wins column, which is exactly what they were able to do. Led by 3 double-digit scorers. Josie Graffio and Jordan Pyle led the way, with Leah Sims contributing as well. Sims finished with 12 points. Graffio had 14 and Pyle 15 for the Fighting Saints today. And that was just about all of their offense. They only got 7 points from the rest of the team combined. The Cougars were led offensively by Cassidy Crawford and Whitney Will, who each had 9 points. A little bit more balanced offensive attack for the St. Francis Cougars today, as they really found themselves stifled by this Saints defense. They put up a 73 spot in their first game of the season and were held to only 47 points in today's game. So once again, a 48-47 victory for the Fighting Saints, improving their record to 1-0 for the season. They'll be back in action tomorrow afternoon. It's a 2 o'clock start time for them against Marian University, and we'll see Marian in just about 50 minutes as Marian takes on Cardinal Stritch in the second game of today's doubleheader. Speaking of Cardinal Stritch, they'll be the opponents of Indiana St. Francis coming up tomorrow afternoon at 4:30 as they try to get back in the wins column. Today's loss drops St. Francis of Indiana down to 1-1 for the season. So that'll do it for our broadcast of this one. Come back a little bit later, because at 7:30 tonight we will have live coverage of Marian against Cardinal Stritch, and tomorrow we'll have both games covered as well through GoFightingSaints.com and the University of St. Francis Fighting Saints YouTube page. So make sure to come back to see all 3 games that are still to come in this weekend's event. Coming up next at 7:30 p.m. tonight, it'll be Marian against Cardinal Stritch. Until that time, though, it's time for us to take a break and reflect on what we just saw. 48-47 win for the Fighting Saints of St. Francis of Illinois. So until about 45 minutes from now, Terry Bonadonna signing off for the moment. Talk to you later.